Hey, this video is about what I'm up to these days. So if you stumbled upon this video and you have 10 minutes of your spare time to listen and watch me rambling what it's about, then go ahead. But otherwise, just click off and carry on. Now, I've been learning languages in the last few months. But mind you, I'm not new to learning a foreign language. I started off with Japanese back in 2012, but that was an on and off thing. So my Japanese level is just an upper beginner. And what I mean is I can only understand 50% of spoken Japanese, but I can't speak it.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I can a little bit, but the pronunciation is off as well. So yeah, not really good. So I got interested with two languages back in January, and those are Russian and Brazilian Portuguese. And the reason, because I knew back in work who speak those languages as their native language. So with Russian, I'd be like, "Ooh, that sounds cool. I want to learn that language." And they have a different writing system, the Cyrillic writing system. That's really cool to learn that. So yeah. And then with Brazilian Portuguese, it's the language sounds really melodic, like they're singing. So that got me interested as well. But that only lasted for a month. Then I just completely stopped, including my Japanese. So that went on for several months.
Bruh.
And I would say work or life got in the way, just got so busy. I don't have that mental energy to study anything. But to be honest, that's just an excuse. Iwake dene.
Hey.
But then again, I came across with YouTubers whose content are about reaction videos, speaking fluently with to native speakers on that target language. So that kind of sparked my hype with learning, with these foreign languages. So I started to watch tons and heaps of YouTube videos and reading blogs on how to learn languages effectively, like on a different approach. Because my approach to Japanese isn't that great. It was really sloppy. As you can see, until now I can't even speak for the life of me. A very complex sentence in Japanese. So what's different now is first off is actually tracking my progress for each language. Like I made a spreadsheet for this year and for the whole year. Each day I would put in what I did on that language. Like for example, Japanese, and then I would put what course I did, or what website I was using, what resource I did, and what lesson. Then I would put that on the spreadsheet. And same goes with the other language, like what app did I use for speaking, or what app did I use for reading, or what resource I did for what specific skill, or maybe a mix of those skills, of those language skills on that specific language. So at least I would get an insight what I'm up to. So it's not all over the place like back a few years ago. And then the next is emphasizing on pronunciation. Like you have to actually get the pronunciation right, because otherwise you would say a different word, especially if you're studying Mandarin, because Mandarin has 5 tones for you to work on as a beginner. So that's pretty fun. And then also with Korean with Hangul, even though Hangul, the alphabet is really easy to learn and you can learn it in 2 days. But there are pronunciation rules, how to pronounce the actual word. So unlike with Japanese, what you read is how it's pronounced. But with Korean, that's not the case. There are rules to how to actually pronounce the word, depending on what succeeds that syllable or that character or the alphabet. So that really tripped me up with Korean. So yeah, that's why my learning with Korean is twice as long or slower compared to Japanese. So in perspective, in contrast, sorry, Japanese is a lot easier to read and to actually to read. Yes, that's my biggest challenge with Korea now. And the next thing that's different with my approach is speaking earlier on. So if you actually want to speak the language, you have to actually practice speaking, not just learning grammar or learning vocabulary. Yes, those are important, but if you want to speak, you actually have to actually practice speaking. So I did that on the first few days with Korean and Portuguese, which especially with Brazilian Portuguese, that really paid off after a few weeks, because I had an experience with responding to a few Brazilians that I know, and they actually understood what I said. So that's really fulfilling, that it's actually studying pronunciation and emphasizing pronunciation right off the bat, right off the start, really helps out. And what else changed? So tracking, pronunciation, speaking. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So as you can tell, I've already mentioned 3 languages. So those are the 3 languages I've been putting a lot more effort and time to learn. So Japanese was one, Korean, and then Brazilian Portuguese. Now, just then I have 2 others which I'm kind of doing in passing, because I don't have the time or mental energy to put a lot more languages into what I have my free time now. So those are Mandarin and Russian. If you noticed, I don't know why I'm so interested with these languages. Like 4 of these languages have different writing systems, and 2 of them, from my knowledge from learning them, 2 of them, Japanese and Korean, are so distant with English in terms of grammatical structure, that plus they have their own writing system, right? So I don't know, maybe I'm just so interested with languages, so the different writing system, that it kind of you're really hard. No, sorry, that's not the right term. Not hard. Okay, you're more challenging to study, so I'm gonna pick you, right? And you have a different writing system. Yeah, because that's I don't know. I find it really fun to actually learn them. I think that's the main reason, to be honest, because it's cool to learn them. Yeah. And then I'm gonna throw in French. Huh? Yes. So that's 6. 6 languages, but only half of them is what I'm learning seriously, and 3 like in passing. But my plans for Mandarin and Russian is maybe learn at least the high frequency words to start off. Maybe every 10 minutes a day, or 2 or 3 new words a day if I can. That's too little, but at least something, rather than nothing. But yeah, so that's what I'm up to. I'm happy with my progress with the 3 languages I mentioned, the 3 main ones. Even though there are opinions that if you want to master a language, just concentrate on one at a time. But that's not my goal. Okay, my goal is not to master those languages to a really high level. My goal is just to be at least maybe lower intermediate, and the highest would be upper intermediate, and that's it. I just want to converse, talk to people eventually. So that's the end goal. But if I want to be put it on a higher level, in comes to academics, which I don't think I'll be, I have a reason to do that. So yeah, that's not gonna be my goal even in the near future. Yeah, so that's my goal for those languages. It may change over time, but now that's what it is currently. So yeah, I'll see myself in 2 months where I'm gonna be at with those languages I mentioned. And I'll try my best not to grab another language in that time, because it's really tempting to jump and try to get a gist of another language while you're seriously learning another language. Yeah. All right, so I'll see you myself in 2 months' time. So good luck to yourself. Ja, mata ne. Gambare.